Hello, my dear friends, and a very warm welcome back to Grow English Mastery. My name is Scarlett, and I am so pleased that you are continuing this learning journey with me today. In our previous lessons, we tracked the incredible story of the relationship between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. We saw a powerful alliance turn into a bitter public feud. We explored the hypothetical idea of Musk founding his own political party as a response. But today, our story takes its most serious and dramatic turn yet. We move from the world of personal arguments and hypothetical ideas into the realm of constitutional law. Today, we are going to discuss the moment when Elon Musk took a definitive and unprecedented stance. He publicly announced his support for the impeachment and removal of President Trump from office. This is not a small statement. It's a call for the most serious political process a democracy can undertake against its own leader. For us as B1 English learners, this topic is exceptionally valuable. It allows us to explore the formal, objective language used in law and news reporting. The key grammar tool for this is the passive voice. It's a structure that many students find confusing, but it is absolutely essential for sounding professional and sophisticated in English. Today, we will demystify it. So, here are our objectives for this lesson. First, we will unpack the story of why Musk would support such a drastic measure and what it means. Second, we will learn 10 crucial vocabulary words related to legal and constitutional processes like impeachment. Our primary grammar focus will be on understanding and using the passive voice correctly. And, as always, I will give you practical tips and techniques to improve all 4 of your English skills. This is a powerful topic, and by the end of our lesson, you will not only understand a critical aspect of democratic government, but also feel much more capable of using the formal language you hear in the news every day. Let's dive in. To fully grasp the weight of this event, we need to remember the journey that led here. The relationship between Musk and Trump was not always one of conflict. They had been allies. But a series of public disagreements over government, policy, and personal conduct shattered that alliance. The conflict escalated, moving from simple arguments to threats involving national space programs and government contracts. It was a backdrop of intense tension and broken trust. It was in this environment that the call for impeachment grew louder in the country, and Elon Musk decided to add his powerful voice to that call. But what exactly is impeachment? It's a word we hear in the news, but the process can be confusing. It is very important to understand that impeachment is not the removal of a president from office. Impeachment is the process of bringing formal charges against a public official. It is similar to an indictment in a criminal court. In the United States, the process has 2 major stages. First, the House of Representatives investigates and votes on whether to impeach the president. They vote on specific charges, which are called articles of impeachment. If a majority votes yes, the president is officially impeached. But the story doesn't end there. The second stage is a trial, which is held in the Senate. The members of the Senate act like a jury. The House of Representatives has a team that acts as prosecutors, and the president has a team of lawyers for their defense. They present evidence and testimony. At the end of the trial, the Senate votes. To convict the president and remove him from office, a 2/3 majority is required. This is a very high bar and has never happened in U.S. history. So, when Elon Musk announced his support for this process, he was taking an incredibly strong stance. He wasn't just saying he disagreed with the president anymore. He was saying that he believed the president's actions constituted high crimes and misdemeanors, the constitutional standard for impeachment. In his public statements, Musk made allegations that the president's conduct was a threat to democratic institutions and that accountability was necessary. The political fallout was immediate and immense. It was an unprecedented move from a business leader of his stature. Those who opposed the president welcomed Musk's support. They saw it as powerful validation from a respected innovator, someone who represented the future. They hoped it would influence public opinion and put pressure on politicians. On the other hand, the president's supporters were furious. They accused Musk of betrayal and of trying to use his influence to interfere in politics. They launched attacks against him and his companies online. The event dominated the news cycle for weeks. The media analyzed every angle. What were Musk's motivations? Would he be called to testify? What would be the long-term effect on his businesses? Musk's decision to take such a clear and controversial stance transformed him from a government critic into a key player in a constitutional crisis. He was no longer just commenting from the sidelines. He had stepped directly into the political arena, making it clear that his break with the former president was absolute and final. This complex situation requires a specific and formal vocabulary. Let's learn 10 of the most important words, so we can discuss these events like an expert. Our first word is to impeach. IMPEACH. To impeach is to formally charge a public official with a serious crime in connection with their job. For example, the House of Representatives voted to impeach the president. Remember, this is the charge, not the removal. Second, we have to convict. CONVICT. To convict is to declare someone guilty of a crime in a court of law or, in this case, in the Senate. For example, to remove a president, the Senate must first convict him of the charges. Our third phrase is to remove from office. This is the final consequence if a president is convicted in an impeachment trial. For example, if convicted by the Senate, the president would be removed from office immediately. Fourth is allegation. ALLEGATION. An allegation is a claim that someone has done something illegal or wrong, which has not yet been proven. For example, Musk made a serious allegation about the president's conduct. Fifth, we have testimony. TESTIMONY. Testimony is a formal written or spoken statement, especially one given as evidence in a legal setting. For example, during the trial, several key witnesses gave their testimony. Our sixth word is constitutional. CONSTITUTIONAL. This adjective means relating to or in accordance with a country's constitution. For example, impeachment is a constitutional process to deal with misconduct by a president. Seventh is fallout. FALLOUT. In this context, fallout means the negative results or side effects of a situation or event. For example, the political fallout from Musk's announcement was significant. Eighth is the phrase to take a stance. S-T-A-N-C-E. To take a stance means to express your opinion about something clearly and publicly. For example, by supporting impeachment, Musk decided to take a definitive stance on the issue. Ninth, we have unprecedented. U-N-P-R-E-C-E-D-E-N-T-E-D. Unprecedented means something has never happened or been known before. For example, for a CEO, of his importance to call for impeachment was an unprecedented move. And our final word is accountability. A-C-C-O-U-N-T-A-B-I-L-I-T-Y. Accountability is the state of being responsible for your actions and having to explain them. For example, supporters of impeachment argued that it was a matter of holding the president to account, or ensuring accountability. Now that we have this critical legal and political vocabulary, let's examine the grammar that is used constantly when reporting on such formal events. The next section is our grammar focus on the passive voice. What is the passive voice, and why? Is it so important? We use the passive voice when we want to make the object of an action the subject of the sentence. It sounds complicated, but it's simple. Look at this active sentence. Elon Musk supported the impeachment. The subject is Elon Musk, the verb is supported, and the object is the impeachment. Now, the passive version, the impeachment was supported by Elon Musk. The object, the impeachment, has become the new subject. We form the passive voice with subject plus the correct form of the verb to be plus the past participle of the main verb. The person who does the action, the agent, can be added at the end with the word by, or it can be left out. So why do we use it? There are three main reasons. First, we use it when the action is more important than the person who did it. For example, the president was impeached. The focus is on the event of impeachment, not necessarily on who did the voting in that specific sentence. Second, we use it when we don't know who did the action, or it's not important. For example, a threat was made. We don't know exactly who made it, or it's not the focus. Third, and this is key for our lesson, we use it to sound more formal, objective, and impersonal. This is why it is used so much in news reporting, scientific papers, and legal documents. It creates a sense of authority and distance. Let's practice converting some sentences from our story. Active. The House of Representatives will hold a trial. Passive. A trial will be held by the House of Representatives. Active. They presented a lot of evidence. Passive. A lot of evidence was presented. Here, we don't need to say by them. Active. The news has reported the story. Passive. The story has been reported by the news. Notice how the to be verb changes to match the tense. Will hold becomes will be held. Presented becomes was presented. Has reported becomes has been reported. This is the key to forming the passive correctly in any tense. Let's look at a few more examples. a decision must be made. Passive of must make a decision. The companies were being investigated. Passive of we're investigating the companies. It is believed that he will be convicted. A very common formal passive structure. Understanding the passive voice is like learning a new code. It unlocks your ability to understand formal English and to produce it in your own writing and speaking. So, how can you practice and master this essential structure? Let's discuss some techniques for your 4 skills. For listening, your homework is to listen to the first 5 minutes of a major news broadcast, like from the BBC, CNN, or NPR. Keep a tally. Count how many times you hear the passive voice. You will be surprised at how frequent it is. This will train your ear to recognize it instantly. For speaking practice, describe a process you know well. For example, how a famous dish from your country is made, or how a festival is celebrated. Try to use only the passive voice. First, the rice is washed. Then it is cooked for 20 minutes. The vegetables are chopped. This is a great way to make the structure automatic. For reading, find a short article on a serious topic, like science, law, or politics. With a pen, highlight all the passive constructions you can find. Then, for each one, ask yourself, why did the author use the passive here? Was it to be formal, to focus on the action, or because the agent was unknown? And for your writing practice, in the comments below, I want you to describe a famous historical event from your country. Write a short paragraph of 2 or 3 sentences, and you must use the passive voice at least twice. For example, the famous Unity Palace in my city was designed by a French architect. Construction was started in 1970, and it was completed 2 years later. I look forward to reading your historical facts. As we conclude, let's reflect on the real-world lesson of this story. The topic of impeachment is difficult and divisive, but the principle behind it is a cornerstone of democracy: accountability. The idea is that no one, not even the most powerful person in the country, is above the law. The process exists as a constitutional safety valve, a way for a government to deal with a leader who is believed to have abused their power. Whether you agree with the reasons for a particular impeachment or not, the existence of the process itself is a powerful statement about the rule of law. The inspirational part of this story is not about taking sides in a political fight. It's about recognizing the importance of the systems and principles that are designed to uphold justice and ensure that leaders are accountable to the people they serve. It's a lesson in civic responsibility. And that brings us to the end of another very intense but important lesson. You have done an incredible job navigating a complex topic and grammar point. Let's quickly summarize our key takeaways. First, we explored the dramatic story of Elon Musk's support for the impeachment of a president, understanding the constitutional process and the political fallout. Second, we learned 10 essential legal and political vocabulary words like impeach, convict, allegation, and accountability, which are crucial for understanding current events. And third, we had a deep dive into our grammar focus, the passive voice. We learned why we use it for formality and objectivity, and how to form it in different tenses. As you move forward with your English, I want you to feel empowered by what you've learned today. Use the passive voice to make your formal writing more professional. Use your new vocabulary to understand the news on a deeper level. And remember the principle of accountability. In your own learning, be accountable to yourself and your goals. Take responsibility for your practice. The effort you put in today is what builds the fluency you desire for tomorrow. Don't be afraid to tackle difficult topics. It is by challenging yourself that you truly grow. Thank you so much for your focus and hard work today at Grow English Mastery. If you found this lesson valuable, please let me know by leaving a comment below with your writing practice or a simple hello. If you have a friend who is also serious about improving their English, please share this video with them. Learning together helps us all stay motivated. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so now and click the notification bell so you don't miss our next lesson. My name is Scarlett. Keep learning, stay engaged, and I will see you again very soon. Goodbye for now.